Enduro is a sport that combines XC fitness.
Is this a joke?
With some of the skills of the best downhillers in the world. Enduro then is surely one of the best mountain bike disciplines out there. Fast, furious, wild and entertaining. But when you are pushing so hard, the inevitable can happen. All of these factors then make choosing the correct protection absolutely essential. So thank you to Bluegrass for inviting us to their HQ. We're going to join themselves and Martin Maes, one of their athletes, as he chooses and decides on what he would wear when both riding and racing. Met and Bluegrass are very much family-run businesses, having been established with Met back in 1987. They've got a rich heritage in focusing solely on cycle helmets, first in the road bike world and then further venturing into mountain bikes. Bluegrass then came along in 2008, focusing more on the gravity and mountain bike side of things, shall we say. Not just with the production of helmets, but also the introduction of protection as well, which brings me here to Valtellina, the Italian Alps near Lake Como, and this massive purpose-built facility. So let's see what's going on inside. A design company at heart, but as cliche as it sounds, after spending a couple of days at HQ, it feels like one big family that often come together on their lunch to discuss projects, have a laugh, and develop the best products they can. This is no truer than the design and development that went into their new Vanguard full-face helmet, with the aim to be lightweight yet still offer maximum protection. Bluegrass then, well, they have the legit full-face helmet already in their lineup, as used by the Scott World Cup downhill team. So where does that leave a helmet like the Vanguard?
I think to me the characteristic needs to be slightly different. As an example, an Enduro helmet, we are looking for a little bit more airflow, breathability. Obviously you're gonna wear a helmet for a long period as we're racing for 5-6 hours during the day, so maybe a little bit more lightweight as well. It needs to be a bit of both worlds, you know, like breathable but also strong and safe to ride.
Here we are then in the R&D department. Now Martin is actually getting a bit of a schooling behind me by Matteo and the crew as they go through various CAD drawings. Now this is where a lot of the designs will be checked over and really fine-tuned, but also where Bluegrass have the amazing ability to actually test helmet structural integrity, if you like, by simulating crashes and impacts on the computer before they even have to get into the jig and destroy them in real life. From this CAD phase, once the school lesson is well and truly over, it's then going to be on to physical prototyping. So from there, it'll be a 3D printed prototype. All right, that's the digital world and the paper world done with. So now we're into the sort of the physical world. And I'm joined by Matteo. I've got Martin here with me. Matteo, start to finish and just run us through sort of the process of what we've got here on each helmet.
Yeah, here we have the very first proto, 3D printed from the CAD file you saw.
Okay.
So first stage is going into in-house 3D printing to see the effect. Second one is the development of the 3D file. Here we started working on the virtual modeling and virtual certification, so simulating the impact. And it came this, that has some differences also in the style. You can see the chin guard is slightly different, as well as the vents are so differently designed.
Fine-tuning that style. And then from this painted one here, that is where we'd go into impact testing, is it? Where we'd really see what the helmet can do.
At this stage, the structure and the design is validated. We start tooling and we get the first trial sample ready for the laboratory to be crashed, to be verified.
Oof. Here we are then, Bluegrass's test lab, a place where they can physically recreate and simulate a crash or an impact of any kind to properly put their helmets through the test. It's in here the Vanguard was rigorously tested, not just to meet the certifications required of it worldwide, but also to the incredibly high standards that Bluegrass put on their own helmets. Using various size test heads, much like we've got here, all around the average weight size of a small, medium, large, and so on human being, Bluegrass are actually able to smash, crash, and crush their way in a controlled environment to actually find out what works best on their helmets. This guy's even copied my haircut. Every single machine in here, it serves a purpose. This first one on my left, for example, is all about rotational impact. So if your helmet's got MIPS or a similar system in it, it can really test that. This bad boy, well, that is going to smash chin pieces to absolute oblivion to make sure that they are up to an ASTM standard. While this third one, this one is going to test helmets in all different kinds of ways to make sure it's got every single worldwide certification that it can possibly have. Watch this. You might be thinking all this testing to destruction is overkill, but the Vanguard will be destroyed 200 times before it even makes it to the shop shelves. And Bluegrass will take this one step even further, using things like humidity. We've got UV to test it, which will look at how a helmet will age over time, be it 5 or 10 years. Cold weather conditions, hot weather conditions, and they've even got a contraption that will measure the density of the EPS. That was quite incredible to watch. There's some thorough smashing of helmets going on in the lab there. I mean, I wasn't quite aware of just how much forces they were put through. So once those tests are done and they've sort of validated just how strong and steady they are, what's this next helmet we've got in the line here? The next step is this one. It is a physical product that is used for making riding tests. So this one, we can take this onto the trails, this is good to go? Specifically, that was a Pro tool that was used for making the study of the cheek padding. Since this helmet, the Vanguard, has adjustable cheek pads, so you can adjust back and forth the position of the cheek pad in relation to the shape of your face. Yep. So here we have a 3D printed part again, so easily to be managed and changed, and a basket with a different location for the cheek padding. So after that, we started making validation also of the fitting, of the comfort, how the helmet is fitting on your head during the use of the riding. Yeah. So that's as well. So this is important. Pretty much near completion. Yeah. And then the next one in line, because I've seen Martin eyeing this up. It's real life. It's the real life for Martin.
This one is ready to go riding this afternoon.
Yeah, and so this is sprayed up for you. This is your
final product, ready to ride, ready to race.
Rest of the season.
Yeah.
And that is it. After all the smashing, the crashing, the 3D printing, bit of painting, this is where we end up.
Exactly. And just before to come over here, I went to pick it up for the final touch. And like I say, it's ready to race and it's ready to ride. So I'm ready to put it into the test. Okay, well with that then, it's probably about time we headed to the trails, I reckon. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do it. All right, Mark, here we are. Nice little unknown trail for the both of us. We said we'd go for a little spin, so should we do this?
It's about time.
Oh man.
Let's go.
I'll let you lead. Go on then, bud. I'll be hunting you. Oh, he's off. I spoke with Martin to see what he'd choose between the two helmets in the full face lineup.
I think it's all gonna depend to the terrain, temperature of the events. You know, if we have more races, lift access, I might go for the legit for more protection. But if we have a very hot race, more pedally or longer day on the bike, then I might orient myself to the Vanguard helmets, which provide more airflow and breathability wearing the helmet.
Well, look, I don't want to hound you down the trail anymore, so I think that's the end of the video today. Mate, thank you very much for sort of giving us a great insight into not just sort of the protection and the helmets and the pads that you choose to use, but also the insight into how you perform and train and compete at such a high level. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been my pleasure as well.
All right, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Until next time, from me and Mart, we're out of it, so we'll see you later.